India and Pakistan are on the verge of a war. What does this mean exactly? Well, here's the basics. Pakistan is 100% Muslim. Remember, they sheltered bin Laden and have been a very, very sneaky actor. India is mostly Hindu. They don't care for each other much at all. There's a region called the Kashmir that they dispute. There was just a Muslim terrorist attack on tourists there, which Pakistan seems to be linked to, so India is furious. There were air and missile strikes on 9 different sites in Pakistan, killing a few dozen people. Reportedly, some airplanes have been lost on both sides. These are big countries. They have more than 1.7 billion people between them and lots of people. That said, very simple. This is not our war. Maybe we slightly favor India because they're retaliating to Islamic terror, but that should go no further than moral support. That is it. This is not our conflict to get involved in. I do not believe this will escalate in any way, shape, or form to nuclear power. And look, we hope for negotiations, but this is a great test of whether or not every conflict is America's problem. And both are nuclear powers, by the way, and most people don't know that. Both Pakistan and India have nuclear weapons, which actually then will decrease the likelihood of either side using nuclear weapons, is the fact that both sides have mad, mutually assured destruction. Trump said yesterday that India is willing to drop all of its tariffs, by the way, on trade with the United States, which is good for icing out China because India very well could become the new China. What you're seeing there is demonstrations on the Kashmir border. I think they think these are kind of like two birds peacocking at each other, but instead of two birds, it's like Pakistanis and Indians peacocking at each other. Very strange, but again, more power to them. They can do whatever they want. And so this is them at the border. They kind of are taunting each other. You actually can go see this live. They have tickets where you can go to the Kashmir border. They actually have arena seating where you can watch this, and they do this like every day at 4 or 5 p.m. where the Pakistani and the Indian armies. This is a visualization of this is not our culture. This is not our fight. We have nothing to do with this. If they want to go high step and high kick their way into a war, I hope they don't. A lot of innocent people die in war. War is terrible. The only role that we should have is to help negotiations and have moral support. We should not supply armaments. I'm sure Lindsey Graham and John Bolton are already on a plane somewhere to New Delhi, try to figure out how we can annex Pakistan or try to give F-35s. No, enough of that. This is not our fight. This is not our region. We hope for a ceasefire. We hope that this does not result in more unnecessary deaths. Ro Khanna was already suggesting that we get involved. These neocons know no limit to our own borders. There's a lot of talk about what's happening in Israel right now. Hostages being released, terrorists resurfacing, Gaza plans, and so on. But there's one thing we tend to overlook. The people of Israel. The war has taken a huge physical and emotional toll on the Jewish people. And that's why I want you to know about the International Fellowship of Christians and Jews. And I want you to support the important work they do. IFCJ is on the ground throughout Israel, providing food and life-saving aid to the sick and elderly, even released hostages and their families. Join with me and visit ifcj.org/learn more. You know what we should get involved in? The cartels. That way we should very much get involved in the cartels. We should get involved against the Chinese Communist Party, not militarily, but by every other mean. Again, I'm just looking at this high-stepping stuff. They're still in the 1100s. If this escalates, they'll also pressure us to take refugees. Nope. Not going to happen. Stuff we should get more involved in. Yesterday, in a lesser-covered news story, we seized 3 million fentanyl pills from the Sinaloa drug cartel yesterday. The largest such seizure in American history. Enough to kill 200 million Americans. That's what we should get involved in. The full force of the government should be in protecting our own citizens. If India and Pakistan want to tragically high-step their way into a war, they have the agency to do that. I hope they don't. I pray they don't. We should try to negotiate peace and for a settlement. But that's it. No more than that. That's what America First looks like. We defend our citizens. They want to high-step their way into it. That's their prerogative.